Hi YouTube, Tim Unker here. In this video, we're going to look at finding the least common multiple between two numbers. So let's take a look at problem 1. In this problem, we are to find the least common multiple between 12 and 28. So there's a couple different ways we could do this. First way we could do this is just to simply start listing the multiples. Okay, so I could just do the multiples of 12, so 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84. Now this isn't necessarily the most efficient method that you'll see. See, I'm listing out all of these. Let's see if we get any that match. So we could do 28. 28 times 2 is 56. 28 times 3 is 84. And we see, okay, I've got a multiple here, 84, and a multiple here of 84. So that must be the least common multiple. And it is. And we can write that as the LCM, least common multiple, is 84. But I would argue that the method that we just used, it works, but it's not necessarily the most efficient or fastest way to do it. So another way we can do is do some prime factorization. So I'm going to start to divide 12, break it apart into its factors. So we can break it apart into 2 times 6, and we want to break it into all of its prime factors. So 2 is a prime number, but 6 is not. A prime number is, starting at 2, a number that can only be divided by 1 in itself. Okay, so we want to still break 6 apart into its prime factors, which are 2 and 3. So a way we could think of this, of 12, is 2 times 2 times 3. That's 12 as its prime factors. So we want to do the same thing with 28. Let me do it over here. 28 is 4 times 7. And you could pick different factors, but you notice here that 7 is a prime number. It can only be divided by 1 in itself. And so we're halfway there. 4 can be broken apart into 2 times 2. Now to get the least common multiple, I'm going to take the common prime factors that 12 and 28 share. 2 times 2, we'll keep those. So we've got those already. And then add in the uncommon ones. Okay, so I wouldn't do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Since I have 2 times 2, I'm going to keep those in. Times 3, I don't have that here, but I'm going to keep it in. And then we're going to do times 7. Okay, so we're going to not repeat the shared common prime factors, but also include the other prime factors that aren't shared. Okay, now if I do this out, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 3 times 7. So we have 4 times 3 times 7. 4 times 3 is 12 times 7. And 12 times 7 happens to be 84. So we arrive at the same result for our least common multiple. But I think this method, once you do it, might be a bit faster than going through all of the multiples, especially when the numbers get pretty large. Okay, so let's do the second method. We'll do the second method, the prime factor method, with this next one with 4 and 16. So I'm just going to start listing the prime factors of 4, which are 2 times 2. And then we can do 2 times 8 for 16, which can break apart to 2 times 4. And then 4 can break apart to 2 times 2. All right, so 16 has 4 2's multiplied together. And 4 has 2 2's. So the two 2's, they are shared. So we start with 2 times 2. And then the ones that aren't shared, let's say, are these. So we also do the unshared ones. So times 2 times 2. And this is 2 to the fourth power, or another way to think of this is 4 times 4, which is 16. So our least common multiple for the second one is 16. Now another way to do this is just to list out the multiples. So I could start with the multiples of 4, which are 4, 8, 12. And you think of this, the multiples 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 4 is 16. If I go with 16, I start off with 16 times 1, and I notice I've got the least common multiple here right from the start. So that's another way to do it. Again, you can list out the multiples or you can do the prime factorization. Okay, hopefully this is starting to make sense. We're going to move on to problems 3 and 4. Take a snapshot of this if you want. I would advise you to try and stop the video, maybe do 3 and 4 before I go through them. Try both methods, see which one you prefer, and then watch the video and see if you get the same answer. Okay, so let's delete that, move this down. All right, so now we've got to find the least common multiple between 105 and 30. Okay, so I am going to do the prime factorization method first. Now I notice 105 ends in a 5, so I know it's divisible by 5. 5 is also a prime number. So if I multiplied 5 by 21, I would get 105. And 21 I can break apart into 3 times 7. All of these are 5 times 3 times 7 is going to give me 105. And these are all prime factors. Okay, now let's take a look at 30. So 30, we're going to break that apart into, I can do 2 times 15, and then 3 times 5. Okay, so the shared factors are 5 and 3, shared prime factors. So if we want to find the least common multiple, we're going to do 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. Okay, so 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, so we have now 6 times 5 times 7. 6 times 5 is 30 times 7. So our least common multiple, 30 times 7 is 210. So that's one way we could do it. We could also list the multiples. So I could start with 30, do 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210. Keep going. I don't know that's 210, 240, 270. I'm listing them out. And then I'm going to list, I could keep going, but I'm going to see if we hit one. So I'm going to list 105. Well, 105 times 2 is 210. Okay, now we've got the shared one here, the least common multiple. So that's 210. We get the same answer. This way could take you longer. Depends. All right, so let's erase this stuff and work on problem 2. Okay, so let's list the prime factors of 8. So I can break this apart into 2 times 4, and then 4 into 2 times 2. So 8 can be written as 2 times 2 times 2. Let's now do 12. So I'll start to break this apart into 2 times 6. 6 is 2 times 3. So we're sharing this. That was a big That was a big circle. So we're sharing this 2 and this 2. And then we also have to add this 2 and this 3. So I'm going to write 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. We've already seen that 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So let's just move us along. This is 8 times 3, which is 24. So our least common multiple here is 24. We could also, of course, we could also list out the multiples. So let's do that. So multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24. And you might see that, 2 times 12 is 24, and you just stop here. Well, let's keep going. We'll do 32, 40, 48, 56, and so on. So we're listing them out. Let's try 12 and see if we get one that matches. So we have 12. 12 times 2 is 24. And we go, oh, okay, we got a match. So 24 is our least common multiple. Anyways, hopefully this video helped you out with figuring out the least common multiple between two numbers. If it did, please like and subscribe. Also, I'll leave my links to my teacher stuff and my website in the description. And I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day.